The board is the centerpiece of the game. It's where everyone's eyes are focused, and it's your biggest chance as a game designer to communicate with the players the theme of your game. So as I've started taking publishing my game more seriously lately, I had to ask myself a question. Is my board game's art good enough to sit on a shelf somewhere, and is the quality up to a professional standard? So, let's take a look. If you're new here, my name is Julian, and on this channel I've been documenting my journey of creating the ultimate strategy board game, Pincer: A Gentleman's War. In this game you'll expand your empire by building colonies, managing resources, and most importantly, facing your opponents on the battlefield. Head over to my website, playpincer.com, and learn how you can become a playtester today. So let me tell a story. A few weeks ago, I let some friends of mine borrow a copy of my board game, one of the only copies I have, and I think that their kids were pretty excited to play test it, and I was excited for them to play test it as well and get their feedback. And so a few weeks goes by, and I get the game back, and of course I asked him, what did you think of it? And overall, I think he liked it, but one thing that stood out to me is he said, and I quote, "The tiles are annoying." So here I am thinking, man, if this kid who's, the target demographic of this sort of game probably, I know a lot of people my age enjoy these sorts of games as well, but if these kids don't want to spend the time to set up the tiles to play the game, then that might be a big problem. What he said that they enjoyed playing on a lot more is the static board that I lent them as well. And this is the board that I let them borrow. I've had this for about 5 years. This is the first board that I printed my game out on. It's just printed on foam core from FedEx. But he said that they enjoyed playing on that a lot more. Even before he said that, I've been given a lot of thought about the tiles. And you know what? He's right. The tiles, they just are annoying. It's tedious to set them all up on the board. It can take 15 to 20 minutes. And then even after that, you have to worry about knocking them around while you play. And it also limits the size of a map you can have. Right now, the map that I kind of settled on is about 61 tiles. And it's really not that big. Ideally, it would be about 100 tiles. But who wants to set all that up? That's 100 tiles this size that you have to oh so carefully arrange on your table and hope nothing knocks into it. So it pains me to say this, but I've decided we're getting rid of loose tiles. We're going to go with a static board. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but I think this is truly going to be for the best. And trust me, no one's more disappointed than I am. These have been my crown jewel, my babies the past few years, and it really is going to pain me to see them go. So this one's for the tiles. Let's have a moment of silence for them. Okay, moving on. Now, the exciting news that I am very eager to share with you all, something I've been working on the past few weeks. Once I decided that we're sticking with a static board, I sat down to create a map, and I finished placing all the tiles on a 20 by 20 inch board. That's probably the size that we'll end up going with. I think it's 100 to 120 tiles, somewhere in there. But anyways, I got done arranging the map, and I looked at it, and I asked myself the question, is this good enough to be a professional game? When I look at this, can I really see this on a store shelf somewhere? And honestly, the answer was no. I just don't think that the artwork is on that professional standard. I designed this about 5 years ago. I drew it all in Photoshop, and I was very proud of it then. But honestly, I think my skills have improved since then. And I'm still very proud of that artwork, but I think I could do better. So with no further ado, I present the new official board game map for Pincer: A Gentleman's War. I hope you all like it. I spent a lot of time on each tile, hand drawing them all in Photoshop. It was a lot of fun, a lot of work as well. I really put a lot of time and effort into this map to make something that really catches players' eyes, something that pops, breathes life into my game. I really wanted it to look like an old map, and I think that theme comes through. So once again, I hope you all like it. I'm really happy with it. To me, it just seems so much more interesting than the old map. So to clarify, here are 3 reasons why I decided to go with the static board. Number 1, like I said, is you don't have to deal with the loose tiles. It's just a static board. You want to play, you open it up, and it's ready to go. And I don't want to underestimate that. It can take 15 or 20 minutes to set up these tiles, and that's a lot of time for a board game that you could be playing. And I don't want to discount that. I think that's a big factor for replayability. And number 2, like I said, we can have a larger board, and I think it's much better suited for 4 players. I think this would be the perfect size for that we wouldn't be able to get with the loose tiles. And beyond all that, number 3, I think a static board actually opens a lot of doors up to new things, to improvements for the game. One thing I love about just the artwork side of it is you can have overlapping tiles, so the mountains overlap with the tile that's behind it or on top, and it just adds a lot more sense of depth to it. The trees do that. The stone and the forest do it as well. This will also give me a lot more control over how the resources are distributed. And I think it'd also be fun to make this look even more like a map, maybe a compass. On old maps you see drawings of sunken ships, things of that nature. I'd like to incorporate some of that stuff into it. The only thing that I hesitate with that is I would like to actually have meaning in the game. I wouldn't like to just add decorative artwork that doesn't actually function in the game somehow. But one idea I had was adding ancient ruins in the game. So maybe 3 or 4 tiles spread across the map will have an ancient ruin drawn on it. And I was thinking that maybe if you found a colony on that, it costs 1 less stone, something like that. I think stuff like that could be fun and add a lot of depth to the game. Now, this map isn't 100% complete. I would like to add some variations to the tiles so it doesn't look repetitive. Hills are used quite a bit, so I think I'll draw a few variations for that. Perhaps water as well, but I was also thinking with a static board, maybe I can just make all the water one texture, but we'll see about that. All in all though, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I hope you all are as well, and not too disappointed about the tiles. But I was thinking once the game is published, there's no reason I can't also have loose tiles available as well, so we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. If you've been following the channel, you know that I'm really trying to focus hard on publishing. I'm very happy with the victory condition. I think it finally just clicked for me. It ties in elements of diplomacy, alliances, enhances the war mechanics of my game, and I think it's going to make it a much more sociable game. I think my favorite part about it is it includes multiple paths to victory and not just a domination victory. It ties in elements of history, and all in all, I am very satisfied with it. It finally clicked, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. So thank you all so much for coming along this journey with me. Stay tuned. I will see you all soon. Farewell.